Well, we've seen the final polls. Number 4 for South Carolina, number 8 for Clemson, and already people looking ahead to the end of next season.
Yeah.
Their final standings there aren't quite close to where they finished up this year. They do naturally have some holes to fill.
Yes.
I think we always want to start with the quarterback. He is generally the straw that stirs the drink. In
Well,
South Carolina, you already got a guy that's game ready.
Right, right. Well, you look at two seniors who've meant a lot to their programs. Taj Boyd up at Clemson broke all kinds of records. I mean, this guy was phenomenal in the Orange Bowl. Connor Shaw, maybe the best quarterback in the history of South Carolina football. You lose this guy that can run it, that can throw it, a great leader, coach's kid, a film junkie. So when you talk about just replacing that position, it's going to be tough with guys that really, at Clemson, probably the biggest replacement because they haven't had a guy that has played much. South Carolina has Dylan Thompson, who has some experience at starting and playing a lot of football, Brian. So I think the Gamecocks are better off at that position more so than Clemson.
Is this Thompson's job, you think, or is there going to be a pretty heated battle throughout camp?
I think we'll be having a lot of discussions on a quarterback controversy, whether it be Dylan Thompson, Nosovich, or Connor Mitch, the young guys. So they got 3 or 4 guys that's probably going to be competing for that job. I'm looking forward to the spring because we'll have a lot of heated debate. Will this job be handed to Dylan Thompson or will there be a quarterback controversy?
Playmakers leaving. You got
Yeah.
Ellington leaving. You got Quarles. You got Clowney leaving on the defensive line. That's an area for concern for you, defensive line for South Carolina.
For South Carolina, I mean, you look Quarles and Clowney, Chaz Sutton. That's 3 starters that you're losing on that defensive line. That's tough to replace. And the guys that got Mason Harris, that's going to be replacing Darius English, the young guys that have played some, but not a whole lot of intense moments. So that's going to be a tough position to fill. But as far as the rest of the defense for the Gamecocks, your linebackers are all young. They're coming back. Your secondary, minus Victor Hampton, they're going to be back. So I think if they can get the front 4 done, they're going to be in good shape. As far as Clemson, we don't know yet on Vic Beasley.
Yeah.
But if he comes back, thumbs up for Clemson. But if he leaves, now you got to replace a lot of sacks for the Clemson Tigers.
Quickly, got about 25 seconds left. Is that top 20 finish, as they are slated now for next year, a realistic expectation, or do they end up in the top 10 again? Are they not being generous enough to them?
Well, I said from the get-go that next year is going to be tough for South
Yeah.
Carolina and Clemson. I know South Carolina gets a little bit of reprieve on the schedule, but when you lose the impact players in which they're losing, you know, it's got to be tough to replace those guys. But they've recruited well. Next man up mentality for the Gamecocks and the Tigers. Looking forward to the spring to see what's going to happen.
Next man up, and it's never too early to look into the crystal
Never too
ball.
early.
Thank you very much, Corey Miller.